Well, long time no see, everybody. So obviously it's been quite a long time since I've done any videos at all for this channel. I could just spend a minute talking about why I haven't been uploading, but I don't think anybody really cares at all about why I haven't. They just want to see a video. So let's get straight into it. Starting this video, I don't really know what I'm going to talk about here. The Piston Summer League starts tomorrow, and we have made a few free agent signings that was I pointing it? Oh, that? Oh, I forgot that was even there. I dropped something behind there real quick. Let me go ahead and fix that up real quick. My fault. Hold on, let me get my cat real quick. Ellie, come here. Ellie, what are you doing? Come here. About that, my cat began getting wild in here. But anyways, like I was saying, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. But then I remember that the Pistons happened to sign Derrick Rose. So, I thought, maybe I should talk about signing Derrick Rose. Okay, being for real now, the Pistons signed Derrick Rose, as I'm sure everybody knew already. But, I'm a little bit late on this. I just had too much going on. I was too busy writing something that was pretty long, Pretty long, pretty hard to write, close to 2,300 words, I think. But, yeah, I was a little late on it because I was too busy writing something pretty long. As soon as free agency started, the Pistons came to an agreement with Derrick Rose on a 2-year, $15 million contract. If you guys haven't noticed already from the jersey on the wall, the jersey on my chest, and that whole bit at the beginning of the video, I am a huge Derrick Rose fan. When it was reported by Frank Isola before free agency even started that we were the front runners for Derrick Rose, I was extremely excited, extremely happy, and hopeful that we were going to sign him indeed. And we did. I'm not going to get too in depth about the signing because, like I said in the beginning of the video, or showed in the beginning of the video, I just wrote 2,300 words on this signing about why it was the right signing, how much he helps us, what he's going to help us in, how he's an upgrade over Ish Smith, all that stuff. Literally all is in that article, and I don't feel like it would take a long video for me to go in depth about everything again. So I'm going to leave the link to that article in the description down below. There are a few things that I'm going to attack in this video, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is his contract. Everybody already knows Derrick Rose had an amazing bounce back season with the Timberwolves last year, so that meant he was not going to be probably at the same price he was last year when he signed for the vet minimum with the Timberwolves. He probably was going to try, cash in a little bit better than that. As everybody already knows, the Pistons are in salary cap hell, so all they had to offer this offseason was the mid-level exception and the biannual exception. And heading into the offseason, everyone wanted the Pistons, and I believe the Pistons were planning on doing this, using their MLE, the entire of it, on some wings. Because last year, as you saw, after we traded Stanley Johnson and Reggie Bullock, we had no wings on the team that were capable of guarding anybody above 6'6", and we got absolutely obliterated by Giannis in the playoffs because we had no one that could guard him. But then the Pistons swung a trade for John Lure that involved getting a first-round pick. Yes, a first-round pick for John Lure, which I should have made a video about then because I was literally just starstruck that we were able to pull something like that off. But yes, we traded John Lure for a first-round pick and Tony Snell, who is a 6'7" wing, who is a 3-and-D player, and usually shoots around 40% from three-point line. And on draft night, the Pistons spent their 15th overall pick drafting Sekou Doumbouya, which I hope I'm saying correctly because apparently I said it wrong on the podcast last week. But Sekou Doumbouya, he's 6'9", extremely long. The comparisons are to Pascal Siakam. He's extremely athletic. So basically the Pistons addressed what's going to be likely their starting small forward in Tony Snell, and they got a backup in Sekou, who is also extremely long, tall, strong, and athletic. When this happened, I told everybody in Pistons Twitter, I told all my friends, I told everybody, we were probably not going to use the MLE on a wing now. We addressed it with Tony Snell and Sekou, which raises the chances of us going after Derrick Rose, which obviously I'm a Derrick Rose fan. That wasn't just me being a Derrick Rose fan. I knew that the Pistons were going to need a new backup point guard with Ish Smith leaving. We wanted to upgrade at backup point guard, and Derrick Rose is going to be that. And he isn't just some random backup point guard. The dude was in the running for 6th man of the year until he got hurt last year. I expected the Pistons to spend probably their whole MLE on an impact guy. It could have been a different position, but I did not expect it to be at wing, and I preferred it to be on Derrick Rose. So the Pistons ended up doing by paying him $7.5 million per year. Basically what I'm trying to get at is, when we first signed him, most people were getting a little hesitant on it because we basically had spent our entire MLE on him, and we thought some thought maybe we overpaid for Derrick Rose. No, we did not. Let me go ahead and give you guys these names: Emmanuel Mudiay, Corey Joseph, Patrick Beverley, Elfrid Payton. Now, there may be some people out there who think that one of these point guards are better than Derrick Rose. I am not one of them. I think Derrick Rose is better than all these guys. But that's not the point. The point is this: Corey Joseph, $12 million a year. Patrick Beverley, 3 years, $40 million. Elfrid freaking Payton, $8 million per year. I probably shouldn't have said Emmanuel Mudiay because he signed for a 1-year contract, but I've been looking. I don't really know. I don't think it's been disclosed how much it is yet, but you get the point I'm trying to say. Derrick Rose, I believe, and obviously the Detroit Pistons believe this, is better than every single point guard I just named, but he's being paid less than all of them. Now, in fairness to all the people who were a bit scared about the contract when it first happened, I have seen a lot of them start to change their mind as they see the point guard contract start to come out, when they realize that Derrick Rose is being paid less than all of them. But the point is, Derrick Rose's contract was actually a pretty good contract for the Pistons. They got what it seemed to be the best player out of all of them for less than all of them for only 2 years. So the contract to me, and I see it's starting to feel better for most people, but to me, it's completely okay. I think it's a great signing, and I have no problems with the contract at all. There's only one other thing that I want to talk about in this video, and of course, it's his health. You know, this is why I get kind of offended when people call me a Derrick Rose stan. This is mostly from people on NBA Twitter, and trust me, I know what kind of people on NBA Twitter, which way that kind of thing leans. And I understand that if you're just a basic fan of Derrick Rose at all nowadays, you're just going to be called a stan because how could you be a fan of Derrick Rose? You're just a stan. You know, which is just the furthest thing from the truth, because you don't see me sitting here talking about how he's still an MVP or one of the best players in the NBA. I think I'm extremely fair, and I think a lot of people who read my article, I got a lot of messages saying that, wow, we appreciate how fair you were. So I don't appreciate when people call me a stan, which is why I'm going to be objective and fair in this video and talk about his injuries. There's no denying that no matter what stat I can throw out there, no matter what stat I can throw out to the Derrick Rose stans, to the people who are actually stans, it doesn't matter what stat I throw out there to them, it doesn't matter what kind of stat I throw at people who aren't a fan of Derrick Rose. For both sides, it doesn't matter because he gets hurt. There's no other way around it. You can sit here and talk about how the guy averaged 21 points and 6 assists in the 13 games he started for the Timberwolves and how they were 2 points better with him on the court. I can talk about that. I can talk about how well he shot from 3-point line this year before he got hurt. But once again, what I have to say before he got hurt, and none of it matters, because if you're only going to give us 13 games, 20 games, 30 games, 40 games, 50 games, it doesn't matter in that kind of sample size if you're just going to get hurt, because it doesn't end up affecting the season enough for the team to make it worthwhile. What I am going to say is that there is a reason to be extremely optimistic about Derrick Rose this year, health-wise, and I'll give you one name: Arnie Kander. If you don't know already, Arnie Kander is like freaking Jesus of the trainers. Like, I linked an article in my article about Derrick Rose yesterday, talking about from 2009, it was from Bleacher Report, saying that Arnie Kander is the best trainer in the entire NBA, and talks about the miracles that this guy does. And we've seen since 2009 what this guy does. I mean, when he left in 2015, you saw what the hell happened to the Pistons. Reggie Jackson destroyed. John Lure destroyed. I mean, he came back and look what happened. Blake Griffin, most games played since 2014. Reggie Jackson plays in all 86 games. 4 of them were playoff games. So basically, if there was one person in this entire universe that I would trust to get Derrick Rose healthy and have him play at least at least I'd say probably like 60, 63 games, at least around there or up, it would be Arnie Kander. And I don't care what anybody says, that had to have been going through the Pistons' mind when they signed Derrick Rose, because everybody knows Derrick Rose, if he plays like he did last year, that's fine. But the problem is he can't do it for a full season. That's why you see teams staying away. That is his problem. And the Pistons had to have felt confident with their training staff, with Arnie Kander, to get Derrick Rose, or they wouldn't have signed him, because it's not worth only having him for 40 games. Especially when the Pistons have seen what happens when one of our point guards go down. But yes, everyone has a reason to be worried about the injuries. Heck, I'm extremely worried about the injuries. He's finally playing for my hometown team, and I don't feel like him getting hurt and having to hear from everybody, oh, he always gets hurt. And this time, if he gets hurt, it's going to be penalizing my home team. So it's not just like, oh, I'm just a Derrick Rose fan, that sucks he's hurt. No, he's going to be hurting my team from winning. But literally, if there was one team in the entire NBA that you could put your money on to keep Derrick Rose upright for the entire season, I'm putting my money on the Pistons, because they have Arnie Kander, which obviously the Pistons had to have felt pretty confident about. They wouldn't have signed Derrick Rose, which should give us Pistons fans some optimism. You can be scared, you can be pretty negative about it, be worried about the injuries, but to act like that there's no reason to be at least a little bit optimistic about his chances with Arnie Cantor, when the Pistons obviously feel confident themselves that they can keep him upright throughout the entire season, you're just not being honest. Well, that's all I have to talk about today. This was supposed to be like a shorter video. I wasn't planning on going for a while, but you know, Derrick Rose, man. And if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Use my hashtag, the return to YouTube. If you caught that reference, go ahead and comment down below and give me a thumbs up. And thank you guys for watching. I am back to YouTube, and I will be uploading videos from now on moving forward. Happy 4th of July. I will see you guys in my next video of Koo's Ballroom. Bye now.